Welcome back everyone to Scary Story Time. So I'm not going to go too much into the detail again of how to tell a scary story, but I will just remind you some of the things that you have to kind of prepare is, get your drink of water, make sure that your voice is nice and ready. You may want to create your atmosphere again. So once again, I've got my candles to light up the area and have a nice spooky atmosphere created. So today I'm going to tell you the story entitled The Hook. So when I was younger, in my late teens, and I just kind of started learning how to drive, obviously when you learn how to drive, you want to show off your wheels to your friends and of course your girlfriend. So this one particular night I wanted to take my girl out on a date. So I was all excited, put her in my car and we drive to the movies. So of course another thing you do when you're on a date is you want to take your date to a scary movie. So we went to a horror movie that night. And why do you do that, boys? Well, because when the girl gets scared, you can comfort her and you can say, "It's okay, baby, I got you." So we did see a scary movie, so right off the bat, that's going to kind of create that scary feel and within ourselves we're already kind of spooked out. But it definitely didn't help that after the movie we get into the car and driving, and I've got the radio on, and there's a special bulletin that comes across the radio that just kind of cut off the song, and the news report was that someone had escaped from the Edmonton penitentiary, that he was a convict that was in jail for life, but he somehow escaped. And one of the things that they mentioned is that he had this hook that he used on his victims. So obviously that created some tension, but I'm trying to make her feel calmed and comforted. So I'm like, "Oh, babe, we're okay. I'll drop you off. We're okay." But as we are driving, of course, if you know anything about driving a new car and going on a date, what always happens? You run out of gas. So as I'm driving, I'm noticing the gas is definitely getting low, so I have to go fill up at the gas station. So we go to the gas station and I'm filling up at the pump. And I noticed a guy, filling up at a vehicle next to me. And as he's filling up, he just had his hand in his pocket the whole time. And he's just kind of filling. I noticed that's kind of odd, that one hand is in the pocket the whole time. He's kind of moving his body so that he can't, show that side. So I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable. But then I thought nothing of it. I'm just going to go back into the car. So I go back into the car and sit down, and she's like, what's wrong? And I said, "Oh no, it's nothing. That's just that guy over there kind of creeped me out, but it's nothing." So then as we drive, we're just kind of driving along, stop off at a red light, and we both kind of hear this faint scratching that was kind of rubbing up against something. It almost sounded like it was rubbing up against a door. And then my date at the time, was getting all concerned, but I'm just like, "Honey, don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm sure it's just, some kind of sounds outside. It's nothing." So we keep on driving, but as we drive, we're definitely hearing that sound, like it's following us. We continue to hear that. It's like this scraping, but, just obviously trying to be cool about this, think nothing of it. So as we get closer to my girlfriend's house, she's all concerned, like, "Well, what are we gonna do? Because we hear that scraping." I'm like, "It's nothing, it's nothing." So I open the door and, I see that there's nothing around. So I just, slowly go along the front of my car, and then I look around, I see nothing, there's nothing there. So as I walk closer, so I open up her door, and she comes out, close the door, and still nothing, so we're fine. So we're just walking up to her doorway at her house, and I just hugged and kissed her goodnight. That's not the scary part of the story. Ew, gross, he kissed her. And then, I just wished her good night, closed the door, everything's fine. But as I'm walking back to my car, I kind of see something at the back of my car, because I walked around the front, I looked at the sides, there's nothing, but I looked kind of towards the back of my car, and there's something kind of gleaming on it. And as I get a little bit closer, I do see some scratch marks on my car, So I kind of followed along the back of, like the side of my car towards the back. And then as I turn the corner, I see stuck in the back of my car was a hook. And that is the story of the hook. So I hope you enjoyed that scary story and learn a little bit how you can develop a story, develop that suspense until you see that kind of final moment, and then what's going to happen, it just ends, because now the listener or the audience has to use their imagination and think, well, what happened to Mr. Oberst? Well, he survived. Bye-bye.